Have you ever felt like you're just kind of stuck on the sidelines watching everyone else get ahead? Well, today, we're going to dive into a powerful story about moving from the back of the room right to the front of your own life. It's a journey from self-doubt to, well, unshakable belief.
So let's just start with a feeling I think we all know. You know that little nagging voice in your head? The one that whispers, no matter what you do, that everyone else just seems to be miles ahead? If that sounds familiar, then you know exactly what it feels like to be on the last bench. And it's not just a real seat in a classroom, right? It's a state of mind. It's that feeling deep down that you belong in the back, totally unnoticed.
To really get what I'm talking about, I want you to meet someone. Her name is Riya. And Riya was a student who didn't just sit on the last bench. She truly believed that's where she was meant to be.
This was the kind of stuff running through Riya's head day in and day out. She saw herself through this lens of everything she wasn't. Not the top student, not the quickest learner. So, every single time the teacher asked a question, her head would just go down. Her biggest goal? To be invisible.
But here's the thing about change. It usually doesn't show up like a lightning bolt. For Riya, it started really quietly. Not with some big dramatic event, but with just a single sentence from her teacher that planted a tiny seed of possibility.
And this was it. This was the line. Success doesn't sit in the first bench. It sits in the mind. This one idea just got stuck in her head. It was this little hint that maybe where she sat in the room had nothing to do with her potential. Her mindset, though, that was a different story.
Now, Riya didn't just wake up a genius the next day. Her transformation wasn't this big, grand plan. Nope, it started with one small, almost laughably simple action. That evening, she just decided to study for 20 minutes. And here's the key part: without giving up. That's it. Not hours of cramming, not a total life overhaul. Just 20 minutes of real, focused effort.
And this, right here, this is where the magic happens. It shows you the incredible power of just being consistent. Those 20 minutes became a habit. And pretty soon, 20 minutes turned into 30, and then an hour. The amount of time wasn't even the point. It was the consistency that mattered. And over months, that consistency didn't just build knowledge, it built belief.
But I want to be super clear about something. This whole process, it wasn't perfect. It was messy. There were days she totally struggled. She still made mistakes, and she still felt like she was learning way slower than everybody else. But the crucial thing is, she just kept going.
So this commitment to the process, not to being perfect, it eventually led to this breakthrough moment. It happened months later, during a totally normal class test, and it was something no one, least of all Riya, ever saw coming.
Riya raised her hand. Yeah, the same girl who used to stare at her desk praying to be invisible. She voluntarily put herself in the spotlight. And not because she was 100% sure she was right, but because she finally believed she could at least try.
And that, right there, that's the real win. She didn't top the class that day, but she achieved something so much bigger. She moved from a place of I can't to I can try. Real success wasn't about the grade on the paper. It was the shift inside her from doubt to belief.
And this comparison just nails the whole transformation. Just look at how the language changes. Doubt is all about these fixed labels. I'm not this, I'm too that. But belief? Belief is about possibility. It's about the process. I can improve. Slow is okay. It's a complete shift from a final verdict to an ongoing journey.
Okay, so Riya's story isn't just a nice little tale, it's basically a blueprint. So let's break down her journey into a simple toolkit that you can start using to build your own belief, like right now.
So here's the framework that Riya kind of stumbled into. First, you start small. Think about her 20 minutes. Then, you have to be consistent to build that momentum. And this next one's huge. You've got to stop the comparison game and just focus on your own path. And finally, it all comes down to pure persistence, especially on those days you really want to quit.
And these steps are built on some fundamental truths. You got to remember that progress, even just 1% progress, is way more important than perfection. And here's a big one. Confidence is something you build after you take action, not before. It's the result of trying, not the thing you need to start. Failure? That's not the end. It's just feedback. And you know what? At the end of the day, consistency will always beat talent. Look, sometimes we just need a quick little mental anchor, right? Something to hold on to when that doubt starts creeping in. So here are a few powerful one-liners you can use. This first one is so simple, but it changes everything. I can't is just a dead end, but try again, that's a doorway. It's the difference between putting a period at the end of your story or a comma.
This one's for anybody out there who feels like they're just not learning fast enough. Your pace does not matter. Seriously, what matters is that you just don't stop moving forward. Slow progress is still progress.
Think of this one like an investment. Every little bit of effort you put in today, even when it feels totally pointless, is like a deposit you're making into your future self's confidence bank.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, let's lock in one last really empowering way to think about all this. This is not about catching up to other people. This is about starting your own race.
Let me say that again. You are not behind. That feeling of being behind is a total illusion. It's what happens when you compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your journey is yours alone. This is the truth of it. Wherever you are right now, you are standing at the starting line of what's next for you. And that's a place of incredible potential and power.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question. What's your 20 minutes? What is that one small, consistent thing you can do today to start your own journey from the last bench to belief?